Welcome to the ILs of Metal Hellsinger. For Voke, this introduces the basic properties that you'll see in more or less every single IL going forward. We're going to build up our Fury meter right at the start, and we're going to find what we hope is the fastest way to damage down into our Last Breath Aegis stage. Last Breath Aegis being one of the two primary sigils that we use in the 8 Hells run. So, without further ado, we're going to jump right into it. We do run this IL on Goat difficulty. Goat difficulty means enemies will be more aggressive and do slightly more damage, but we still have a couple of respawns if we need them. Hopefully we shouldn't on Voke, but you never know. So, using Devil's Flight, just to accelerate there, dashing through, building up Fury meter, using the Vulcan and swapping back and forth from the Vulcan and Hellcrow to make sure that I never run out of ammo, abusing the Ghost Rounds sigil, perching right here on this little corner of geometry so that I know where all the enemies come from, utilizing that Cambion's attack to damage down about halfway, and that's as far as we're going to go in this first arena. At 16x Fury, the vocals have kicked in on the music. Clearing out this final wave of enemies, we're going to use Paz's charge attack, charge it up, release it on those marionettes there, destroy that crystal from afar, because we will be going over into that part of the arena later, and we don't want to pick up any health. After destroying those marionettes, we are finally damaged down. The damage from those marionettes exploding after being crystallized and the Chaos Crystal detonating did enough damage to put us into Last Breath Aegis. Now, that was a very lucky set of spawns there. Sometimes these spawns will play a little bit meaner, and it'll take a couple more seconds because one enemy will spawn somewhere else. You'll notice that in this arena I did fire one shot up into that right-hand balcony. That's because the Cambion that spawned close by can occasionally spawn up there next to that Chaos Crystal. Voke is so short and so refined that most of these possibilities are memorized at this point. Again, spawn patterns playing very nicely, but good or bad spawn patterns can save or lose 5 to 10 seconds each, sometimes in this level. Voke is about a 10 to 20 second time swing, and that's somewhat on execution, but also on luck. For example, that behemoth spawning right there, it can also spawn right next to you on the close side, and it's a lot harder to kill it if it spawns closer to you, because then you're losing time on being able to move and finish off at the same time. Getting the good attack pattern from the boss there that allows us to damage it down, it can throw us a bad pattern that means it will move before it centers again, and that movement pattern puts it into a temporary invincibility phase that will lose us about 5 to 10 seconds. Another bad pattern here is that behemoth spawning on the far side of the arena as opposed to the close side. That is a little unfortunate, but doesn't necessarily lose us much time if we handle it well. Going to the left as opposed to the right with that final boss attack, and that is Voke. If we go to the right on that final boss attack, we will take most of that attack to the face, and we could quite possibly die. But that's Voke. A lot to take in, but not too hard at the same time.